Right, so it's the next day, we're back onto this panel. I sanded down the spray foam and everything using my flat sander and some 80, and then I worked onto some 40, then I worked onto some 80 grit. It worked really nice. We made sure everything's nice and fine, you know, nice and smooth. But what we're going to do now, round these little corners, I'm just going to clip in the die grinder with a little ball on the end and just so all these cutouts are nice and smooth, because if not it'll stick out like a sore thumb. So with that done, we'll blow it off. We'll go and get some bubble wrap. Put this on here, because desk's a bit of a bloody mess at the moment. I've got 3 or 4 jobs going at the same time. And we'll get some vinyl. Right, so I've got my material. Just want to say that the rolls of material that you get are just wide enough to do the bottom of a dash. This was the end of a roll. Be careful, because it's got some glue on there where it was glued to the roll. What Jim taught me was to unroll the material and roll it round so this is on the outside, not this bit, if you see what I mean, because you've got a good chance of damaging your material in storage. What I'm going to do, and again this is 4-way stretch vinyl. Now I'm going to make sure I don't use this edge. Right, so we don't want that edge, we want this edge. And this vinyl has no pattern. Well, it has a pattern, but it hasn't got like a leather grain pattern, so it doesn't really matter when you stretch and move it. It doesn't look odd, if you see what I mean. Now we've got this material here. The thing about it is, you don't want to cut it too short. There's nothing worse than cutting it too short, because it's not because you want something to wrap over. You want something to hold and pull while you're stretching it. So I'm going to put that there, and then I'm going to mark this here. Alright, so that should be good. Then we're going to mark round here. Alright, so we're going to come down here and across here somewhere. Alright, that's going to be our material. It looks a lot bigger than it needs to be, but there is a reason for that. So I'm going to cut that out. Right, so the first thing we're going to do is just blow it off with the air in the gun by just pulling the trigger like this. And you can see we've got a little bit of stuff on there. That's alright, a bit loose there. It don't matter too much, because the vinyl's quite forgiving, but it's not very thick, if you see what I mean. Because if it was too thick, we'd never pull it and stretch it, because there's different thicknesses, but we sort of stuck really. This material is what Bombardier use for the skidoos, because it flexes very well in cold weather. That's what you want. Right, so we're on our foam. First of all, what I'm going to do before I get it all messed up is I'm going to spray the back of this. Now my gun's not being used. There we go. The glue's quite thick, so being a gravity gun, it's taking some time to pull down to the nozzle. There you go. As you're spraying, you can see it absorbing into the material, which is a good thing. The glue that I use, wait a minute, get that, there we go. Where have I put it now? Oh, it's just, I keep it under the bench because otherwise I'll knock it over. This is Lepage glue, heavy duty, our strongest contact cement. The thing is that, you say, yeah, it says 15 minutes drying time. Well, yesterday it was really warm, so I managed to do it in 10 minutes. This morning, Sunday morning, it's a bit cool, so I'm going to leave it maybe 15-20 minutes. This is solvent based, so use it in a well vented atmosphere. I've got the door open. You can get water based, but I found out it's rubbish. It's junk. Throw it away. You can't beat solvent. It really does glue best. Like I say, Weldwood was even better, but we can't get it now. So I'm going to put that clean to one side. I don't know where I'm going to find clean in here, but never mind. Now I'm going to give this a coating. And again, this is my old gun, because you see this volume knob here, that's screwed flat out, but when you're painting it's all loose and knackered, so it is a good gun, and you put some paint on well, but when you can't control the volume, it's no good. So it's fully open now. Get plenty in these corners. You see these little corners where the screw hole's going? Get plenty in there. Now, that's not bad. Just noticed a bit. You'll have noticed I didn't do around the outer edges. I didn't do the underside because we're going to do those with a brush when the vinyl's on, because so we're not spraying product all over the place. It would be sort of, you know, a waste of time really. So the moral of this story is take your time. Don't rush. A lot of people would go and stick it back on, and it wouldn't work. It'd have disappointing results. So it's 10 to 10. I'm coming back. I'm going to probably nip down to Jim's with that seat, and yeah, see what comes. Oh no! I'll tell you what. Before that, I'll weld this seat up. That'll do. We'll be back shortly. Right. So. It's now 10:15. So let's see if this will fit. Well, it will fit, but get the right position on it. A bit awkward to manage. This is a tricky bit, this corner here. I'll have to pull that really tight to get that ripple out. Going, you can see it's wanting to go. Keep working it. It'll go. See, we can touch these edges up when we pull it over, if you see what I mean. You might get a little bit of a pucker, but this is hidden inside your dash. Right, let's get this done. Damn, it's so awkward, you know what I mean? She's going now. There you go. And when we pull that over the top, that will pull that top ripple out. Now into those corners. What we're going to do now is go and get our handy little clamps and put them in there, because I bet you I haven't got any. Back in a minute. So we've got the basic shape now, just as we want. I've put my clamps on there and I'm going to leave them just a little while to take that shape properly, and then we'll do the inside. Now with pulling and tugging on this bit here, you see it will go up when we pull it around the corner like that, but because I pulled and tugged it too much, I've lost a bit of contact adhesive here. So this is why we don't put contact adhesive on this piece first, you know, this bit on the inside. You can see there it needs doing, but we do it with a brush and then we save spraying it all over. Right, I'll leave that a little while. Think of something else to do. What time is it? Oh, I meant to go and see Jim. I'll go and see Jim now with this seat and see what he says. Right, the whole final stage. We've got this just about all stuck up now. I'm going to pull that nice and tight over the top. Now we will get some wrinkles in this corner, but it shouldn't be too bad. There you go. Yeah, you see we'll get some puckers here where we can't really do much about that. Well, we can pull most of it out, but this corner's going to be tricky, so we're going to have to trim it. Oh, knock the clamp off. Put the clamp back on. Same at the bottom here. Anywhere you have corners are always a bit of a nightmare. Of course, you don't want to. I like to leave these clamps on as long as possible. Oh, it's going. Now, if you really use a sharp knife on it. There's a pin here. That under there. Now when we do get an overlap on a corner like that, just pull back a bit. Not go right down to the end. Don't go to the end. Don't go to there, just pull it. Make it a little bit, tiny bit more. Overlap it, and then cut between the two. Onto there. And that will pull nice and flush onto there. So we've got to do that with all those joints. So there's the end result. It looks nice, it looks fine. It is a bit puckered at the top, but remember they always are, because you've got a cover to go across here, and even the Land Rover ones are all puckered. The screw holes here, what I did was I punched them through with this hot soldering iron, and then I get the hot glue gun, force a bit of hot glue into here, and then clamp it down really tight with the clamps again, and that really reinforces that, because sometimes they are a bit bubbly. Same with this corner, but you can see they've come out quite nice, you know, and that's an acceptable repair. But like I said, just on these top corners it's just a little bit difficult to do, but again, when the trim's over the top of that, you'll not see it. And again, when you look at a Land Rover one, well, they're not, I think, nothing exactly fantastic. In fact, I might just go and find one. Here we are. This is a genuine Land Rover one. This is off a right-hand drive. I cut most of it out, you know, but I put it on the shelf because I wasn't really bothered with it. Yeah, they've had a bit of a trouble around here as well, you know, trying to put this material on. And this is heat shrunk, so they've even got an advantage, because our stuff doesn't shrink, you just have to pull it into shape. But yeah, they've had a few problems again round here. In fact, I tell you what, while I've got my gear out, I think I'll cover that one as well and put it on the shelf. It's a good used one. Right, I think that's all you need to know about covering them up. Like I say, when you get the big washers on here and the black screws, it's going to look really fine. Well, it can't look any worse than it was, but it is kind of easy but difficult at the same time to do this corner, but you'd never get it with regular vinyl. Alright, see you later.